People got stuff to do. Y'all need to take money off my rent next month. Make it make sense, boo.
You heard those viral words first on Fox 5. Last month, a local apartment complex lost power again after thieves stole copper. And now Fox 5 is asking for answers about rent. Jaclyn joins us now to explain what every renter should know.
And making it make sense for all of you, so to speak. So Talia Fire says for 3 days, power was halted. Then it got spotty and she had trouble living in her home. So she asked her landlords recently, for all those days when she had to stay somewhere else, can she get that rent deducted? Fox 5 is getting answers for you. What are your rights if your apartment is unlivable for days? What's the law? We asked housing advocates to make your rent make sense.
Or keep going out. I should not have to be going to my best friend's house. Make it make sense, boo.
1.6 million people on Twitter alone heard Talia Fire's sheer frustration. Last month, for the second time, thieves stole copper from the Ridge on Charleston apartments and took out power. Though the complex told Fox 5 it fixed the problem, Talia and other residents told us power stayed out or spotty for 3 days.
And I knew that I was going to go viral because a lot of people were going to feel what I had to say. Make rent make sense, boo.
Talia's been on fire lately, and over the past few weeks, in person and by email, Talia asked management. For those days she had no power and stayed somewhere else, can she get rent payments back?
I asked them if they can deduct rent because it happened more than once. It happened twice. And it's like, okay, if y'all not going to deduct rent, what are y'all going to do about this?
Management never responded to her requests, nor several emails or a phone call from Fox 5. What does state law say about your rent and rights?
And they have what's called an essential services habitability issue.
Attorney Aaron McDonald of Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada says, by law, all rentals must have essential services: heat, air conditioning, water, electricity, gas, sewer, and lockable doors. McDonald says if something's out of service and you want to protect your wallet, there's a mandatory first step you have to take. Send this formal letter.
The tenant needs to send this formal letter putting the landlord on notice that they have an amount of time to fix the issue. And here for essential services issue, the landlord only has 48 hours to fix it. There are remedies under the statute.
State law says you can withhold rent if your rent's current, pay for repairs and deduct that from your rent, obtain other housing and halt rent payments, or even sue.
Actually, under Nevada law, a tenant really needs to take these steps to enforce habitability rights. He needs to keep a paper trail of these formal notices to court if a landlord later sues them that they were only exercising their habitability rights.
In the future, it's going to happen again. Now I know the right steps to do and the right route to take.
Talia says she knows her rights now, and she'll keep on speaking her mind. From TikTok to Insta, her social media's been on fire ever since, inspiring a viral meme, remix, and even a cake.
Everybody needs to stand up for what is right. Don't be afraid to use your voice.
Now, Talia says, though apartment workers and the staff are really nice, she is sick of the problems and does want to move. If you have lost power or water or your AC and you need to know your rights and your next steps, we have the links to these legal resources on our website under this story at fox5vegas.com.